Unincorporated all the butt stuff.
Hey guys, welcome back to this episode of Intentionally Blank D&D. I'm your DM Kyle, and I'm joined by the lovely players Dakota, Levi, and Paisley.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. Yeah.
Before we begin, other than what has already been said, does anyone have any announcements?
They did a quick, or a small little update for like the Halloween stuff. I believe Kyle's already showing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they added a scarecrow. You removed the zombies.
Oh, did I? I was removing the stuff that we had last time.
Oh, I know, there they are. Oh, I just can't see them because I was in player mode.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, so they added a new scarecrow prop, the corn stalks, and 3 new zombies, which are pretty cool.
Yeah.
They also currently have the group movement in beta, so we should be seeing that here in the next couple weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
It's going to be really nice. Because then we'll be able to just highlight like our entire group as we're just traveling through town. And then move all of us together. Or, specifically, on Kyle's end, if we're going up against a group of people. Or if there's just a group of people moving through town, like the Raptors.
Yeah, and also we saw a short clip of them editing some of the groups, so hopefully we'll be able to do like group emotes or group kills or more
Group
things than just
attacks.
movement.
Yeah, knock a bunch of people down all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. That's what I'm really looking forward to. Other than that, I don't think there's any major things.
Then let's get into last time. Last time on D&D, the group went out and talked to Kethrin about getting the play set up on his end. He agreed, and the group set forth with the last bits of their prep for their heist. Given that their mission is to go into Kethrin's house and retrieve a specific sword made out of gold and platinum that was once owned by Jorg. They have set up the play with Grief as well, creating all of the backdrops and props that they will need. They also let's see. You guys did all the backdrops and things last session. You also got some of the finer details ready, like Jorg's amulet. Asher got that last time. Is there anything that I'm missing that you guys did last time? I believe it was mainly just the last bits of prep work.
Yeah, I think.
We
I think it
also,
was mainly prep.
you guys also trapped the house and stepped in the trap like 3 times.
Yeah, Levi.
That sucked.
I'm gonna pluck your feathers if that happens again.
I mean, it's kind of your own fault.
I wasn't in the house.
Oh, that's right.
You set it up while they were both out. But, yeah, aside from that, we will start this session with a bit of a time skip. So, skipping ahead 3 days, in those 3 days' time, what would you guys like to do? And which one of you would like to start?
I'll start. During those 3 days, I'm going to gather up a bit more coin and head over talking to Clatter. One, the sword that he is making should be nearing its finish.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna go there. I'm going to collect the sword, and I'm also going to talk to him and help him with making just more cheap replicas.
Okay.
We want to do as many as we can, and we're going to have him sell replicas at the event.
Okay. And then you talked about making more than just the sword, or just the swords?
More swords than the helmets, but also a couple helmets.
Okay.
We'll have the helmets be like a limited thing. We only have a few, but I want to make as many swords as possible. And is there a way I can convince him to make a little bit more than what I'm paying him for, because of the fact that he will make money back by selling them at the event?
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion. Oh, that's pretty good. Persuasion is a not nat 20.
Sweet. Yeah. I will say he will knock off. Let's see. The extras were 100 gold, so I'll say he knocks off 40 of that.
Well, I'm not looking to make it cheaper.
Mhm.
I'm looking to make more, if we can.
To make more, will be a bit difficult, just because that's kind of
The
like,
time restraint.
yeah, it's more so the time restraint rather than like he's putting this off. It's like, no, he's already switching his focus over to this.
Okay.
But
Take the gold. Take the
Yeah,
gold.
then I'll just take the
okay,
reduce.
yeah, it's kind of like 10 is the max that he could make, plus 5 either swords or helmets, with your help.
And remember, Paisley, I took the 100 gold from you.
Hey.
Don't forget to mark that off. I'm putting the remaining back into the guild fund.
Oh, that is correct. I'm down to 150 now. Remove.
All right. So yeah, during those 3 days, you go down to the engine, and you work alongside Clatter, crafting. He puts you on more swords, and he goes into the helmets as they're a little bit more fine detailed.
Mm-hmm.
But with those 3 days, you guys are able to create 10 swords and 5 helmets that are
Sweet.
that are pretty good.
Like to the common person, you'd be like, yeah, that looks exactly the same.
Yeah, it's like, without studying it, it would look the same.
Sweet.
All right. Hoovel Asher.
I am off to the Ash District. I and before leaving the house, I like pop out of bed and I switch to my new morph. Let me get over here. Oh wait, I didn't have him. Oh, he is added as a morph. Yeah, my name is Blimey Sastard. I'm going to go look for some
that
thugs
name
to
so
hire. He's gonna be my Lord of Mischief character. Hey, will somebody move the goddamn trap? I'm leaving. I'm going the other way. Okay.
Okay.
This way.
I don't know how you got through the door, but
I don't know either.
Yeah.
but you leave through the main entrance.
Bastard can just fucking go where he pleases.
I slip on through. I'm a slippery guy.
Okay. So you're looking for thugs to hire, correct?
Yep, I'm looking for a fairly large group, 4 to 5 of them.
Okay. Are you looking for like rough and tumble thugs that look to be intimidating, or are you looking for more thugs of like the sneak in and infiltrate, or are you looking for thugs that are just like pretty normal looking?
First, rough and tumble, fellas.
Okay, roll an investigation check or perception.
Ah! Well, my investigation, or my perception is a +4. But, it's a nat 1, so.
Okay.
5?
First day, you don't find anybody.
Yeah, the first day, you're searching around town, you're asking people like, you know, do you know anyone that's kind of like this? And people are kind of just like shrugging you off.
Tell me where the big boys are.
Yeah, you
Where them
know
tall
people.
lads.
You know people in the Ash District, as you've like been here for quite some time. But people seemed a little off-put by like, hey, do you know any illegal people? Like they're not gonna just be like, oh yeah, they're over there, because they would.
It's them. Get them.
Yeah, they're not gonna rat people out to guards or guards undercover. So, they're kind of tough to find. I would say later in the second day, I'll bring
Okay.
you.
I go back.
Yeah, if you come over here.
Oh. Where are you? Why can't I zoom out?
I'll just pull you
Over here?
right there.
Me. Okay. Oh.
You kind of stumble into a back alley of sorts that's surrounded by tents and kind of like temporary barricades set up to look like tents, but they're made out of wood. And in the midst of them, you see three rough-looking people sitting around a fire, and as you kind of like push through the tent flaps, they all get up and kind of like pull swords and stare you down.
Oh. I flick my forked tongue. I use mage hand and am kind of tossing a gold coin in it, just like ping, catch it, ping, like hi there, boys. I'm looking for some workers. If you're interested in some coin.
You can tell the back two kind of are keeping ready, but the front one, who is a large orc guy, stands twice her height with this morph of yourself.
Yeah.
Even though you can't change your height a whole lot, you can still shorten yourself a little bit so you're more cobalt size. Not completely. But this guy just stands well above you, and comes forward and says, "We could use some coin."
Oh. Well, perfect. You speak for your friends back there too? I kind of like lean to the side a little bit and give them a wink, like.
And he's, yes.
Okay. Well, here's what I propose. I've got some not so friends of mine who are hosting a house party tomorrow night. Is it tomorrow
I think
night?
it's still a couple days off.
Okay.
So you didn't find anyone the first day. You're on the second day,
And it's 2
and
days,
then
so
it's not the next night, but the night after.
okay. Yeah.
So 2 days out.
Yeah, two nights out from now, I need you to go stir up some trouble. However you will. I'll give you some coin up front, but I guarantee you'll find more there. There's gonna be some high-profile people. You can do as you please. I just ask that you make sure they don't have a perfectly smooth evening. For this endeavor, I will give you 5 gold each. Ba-dum-bum. Jazz hands.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay, like my 16. And my persuasion is a +9, so.
Jesus
Fine.
Christ. Do you hold out the gold, or are you just saying, like, I'll pay you 5 gold each?
I'm like reaching into my pocket with a flourish, and in my 2 kobold hands, I between them, I have 15 gold.
Okay.
It's in a pile. You just burst them out yourselves.
We will make sure they don't have a good evening.
Very good. I kind of like gesture for one of his hands and I like slide the gold into it. There
Yeah.
you go. I'll
And
pat his hand a couple times like, good sir.
yeah, and as he reaches out his hand, like you place the gold in his hand, and like your fingers kind of like outstretched reach the just outer edge of his palm. So it's just size difference.
I've
Built
got
different.
small, blimey hands. Oh yeah, that's what I. I forgot I wanted to name this character. I'll do that later.
And he starts looking at the coin and looks up at you. Where is this place?
I like use one of my tiny nailed fingers to like be like, come a little closer. So he like leans down.
Okay, and he gets down on one knee.
Okay. I like cup my hands. I'm like, Hethrin's Manor. Let no one know I sent you, or bad news, friends. But that's the location. Catherine's Manor. You know where it is, right?
Kind of looks back. We can figure it out.
That's what I like to hear. You guys have great initiative. Good work. If this all goes well, maybe I'll see you fellas again with some more stuff to do, more gold to give. Yeah. As I'm saying this, I'm slowly like inching away, like I got what I needed, gonna start heading away. Bye guys, and I give him a good wave and I'm out of here.
Okay. And they, like, as you're leaving, they completely stop paying attention to you and start like going back, and you can see them like somewhat fighting amongst themselves, like, no, you got that many. Like, I'm the leader here, so I should get more.
Yay. Okay. Thug hiring complete. I did not know how that was gonna go. I'm glad it was fine. Yeah. But in this dark alley, I'm gonna dodge around, find a good dark spot, and I'm gonna morph back into Elven Asher.
Okay.
Do I see, like, is this a good spot?
Any reason you're taking the orc?
Oops. Sorry, put him back.
Basically, you hit F7, and you'll go back to player mode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't need him.
You're right here.
But a good like dark area is like around here, okay?
That's
do
pretty open, but you can find a back alley.
Okay. Yeah, just to swap myself.
Easy enough, especially in the Ash District. There's so many alleys that lead to nothing, and
Wreckage.
housings that's not being used, and things like that.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a mess here. But after I do all that business, I'm gonna go ahead back home.
Okay. You morph back and head home. All right. And then Hoovel, is there anything that you wanted to do in those 3 days?
Do I know of any places where, like, around the city or something, that I could find mushrooms or plants or something that would invoke nausea, like extreme nausea?
Heartburn or indigestion, upset stomach, maybe diarrhea.
Roll a nature or survival check.
Survival it is. That's a 6.
Okay. I'll say it takes you a while, probably the full 3 days, because you're like, I feel like I knew an area, and you kind of like start like in the Astra District, just like outside of like the hilled areas, going into the forest, and you felt like you had an area where maybe there was some mushrooms or plants that caused this, and you're just not really finding anything. As you're going through the forest, the second day, you're like, okay, I wasn't finding them in like my usual spot that I thought they would be, but it might be a little bit deeper. And as you go into the forest, you're like looking through these bushes, and there's like a couple that are not rose bushes, but they do have thorns similar to roses. And you're looking through them, and you're like, oh, I know they were like somewhat in the same area as these plants. And as you're looking through, you hear just a low snarl behind you, and you kind of freeze in your tracks. And as you turn around, you see two fairly like beaten wolves starting to approach you. I'd like you to roll initiative.
Oh. Okay. Oh,
Woo!
damn. 23.
All right. Let me get some music going.
Yeah, this is too chipper.
I'll roll. Dakota, where did you put my dice?
They are in your little USB container.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you rolled a 20, so you go first.
Alright, I'm gonna pull out
and
the
then-
bow and...
If you didn't know, I pulled you into the forest, so you have a visual of what you can see.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you can click on your person on the left, and it should take you there.
Yeah, it's just showing up. I'm like standing on air. Can't actually see the air. area
BRB, fellas.
Right here.
Ah, there we go. Got it. Yeah, there we go. I had
Okay.
my green location-y thing. Below. Alright, I'm going to bring out my bow and shoot one of the wolves.
All right. Roll
And
for an attack.
because I am before them, I get automatic advantage.
Yep.
And this is the first turn. Holy shit. 12 to hit.
12 to hit. Believe that should still hit. No, that does not hit.
Shit.
So as you pull back your bow, you're kind of startled, and as you're turning around, you still haven't completely focused as you just fire from instinct, and one of the wolves ducks out of the way just in time as a couple of its hairs get cut off, but no damage.
Alright, and because of Dread Ambusher, I get another attack.
Okay.
No, I don't think this one has advantage. Ah, there we go.
Dope.
So we're doing double the dice, yeah?
You can either do double the dice or roll normal and double the amount, whichever is easier.
21.
Dope. Which one were you shooting?
The closest one.
You would still have advantage on your second roll.
Oh, okay.
Your assassinate since you have advantage on attack rolls against any target who has not taken their turn in combat yet.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. So as you take your second shot, this wolf that starts to is starting to just creep closer. It dodges your first arrow. You quickly pull another one and shoot where it's going to land. And as it lands, you shoot it right, behind the front legs where you know where its major organs are. And as you do, it instantly falls and is not moving.
All right, and then for my movement, I'm going to fly up 40 feet.
All right. Fly. All right.
That's my turn.
Okay. As you fly up, you can see a third wolf jumps out of the bushes behind you and is gonna. It jumps to try to attack you as you're taking off, but by the time it reveals itself, you're well too high, and they kind of just start circling around. But they can't fucking do anything. So, your go.
Alright, can I get in? Oh no. 30 feet of movement. Whoops, I think that through. Just gonna shoot one of them, apparently.
Okay.
God damn it. I'm gonna go down 30 feet, so I'm 10 feet in the air. And I guess that'll be my turn.
Sorry. Okay. Where did you say you're moving?
Just straight down.
Completely, or?
Well, 30 feet down, so I'm 10 feet above.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. They added a secondary foot thing, so it shows you how far you're moving and how far you're off the ground.
I was seeing that. It looked sweet.
Sweet. So yeah, as you fly down, the two wolves are going to try to jump and attack. I'll have them each roll an athletics and then an attack if they can. Okay. So the first wolf jumps and just misses completely. Second wolf is going to jump and it has a chance to hit you. I'm going to roll with disadvantage for the attack. And that's a natural 1. So as it jumps, it does get close enough that it should be able to hit you. And as it tries to bite down, it makes contact with you, but not with its mouth, but underneath its jaw, and it flips back onto its back as it's falling.
Sweet.
Taking 5 points of damage. Your go.
Is there a position where I can get the two wolves in a line?
Yeah, if you wanted to move either right here, or on the other side.
Do it. And then I'll use the special ability on my bow
Ooh.
to shoot an arrow that pierces both of them.
Okay, so yeah, you draw back your spectral bow, and as you do, the spectral arrow that leaves passes through the first one and is going towards the second one. Roll to attack.
Oh, right. Come on. God damn it. It's 12
And
again.
I believe you roll per person. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No idea.
Should say on the item.
Oh. Okay, well, 1 second. Ignore this. Unless it's good, then don't ignore it.
Central arrow bow.
So, hit anything, attack.
It doesn't say.
Oh, it doesn't.
Yeah. So how much did you roll to hit
On the second one?
on the
The
first
first
attack? I believe how we worked it out was you roll 1 attack and then it hits
11.
anyone in that line that it would hit.
Okay.
So 11. Right?
Uh, 12, but I don't think it matters.
No, it just misses. They have an AC of 13.
Damn.
Do you want to do anything
I'm
else?
gonna use the rest of my movement to go 20 feet up in the air.
Okay.
How do you pull something up into the air again?
Control click.
Oh.
Alright. And then during their turn, yeah, I'll just say, these two are going to try to flee.
Oh, heck no.
Alright. Here we go.
Alright, I'm gonna try to shoot them if they're. I mean, yeah, they're still.
They're-
in my
they're
range.
still
I
within
still
your
see
range.
them. Alright. Then shall attack.
Dope. Yeah, that one hits. Which one are you aiming for?
The farthest one away.
Okay. Roll for damage.
Oh shit. 4 points damage.
Alright. So you deal 4 points of damage. As the arrow sticks into it, it yelps out in pain, but it is still running.
Yeah, I'm gonna move 13 or 30 feet towards them, chasing them.
Alright.
That's my turn.
Okay. Just to keep things moving, they are 10 feet faster than you. So every round they'll get 10 feet further away from you. If you keep following them. So however long you would like to follow them and continuously shoot at them, they are going to continue to run away.
I will run them down until I kill them.
Okay. So I'll say,
Because I haven't gotten to kill anything in a while.
yeah. So yeah, roll like 5 attacks.
Oh shit.
Does the 6 hit with your pluses? Do you have a 7 to your pluses?
Plus 8, so...
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Plus, so roll
So
3 damages.
Alright, 1 being doubled.
Yeah.
Do you want to roll them 3 separately or just roll in the 4 dice?
You can just roll them all together.
So 27 total.
Yeah, that is well enough. So as you run them down, you continuously shoot arrows at them as they're running. A couple of them dodge, but with your trained eye, on the last one you can sink the arrow into the wolf that's still running a ways back. and as you do, it gives a yelp out in pain, and as it does, the forest seems to hold quiet as there are no more sounds around. What would you like to do now?
Skin them. I can get like a wolf like skin rug or something.
Dope.
like
Roll
survival.
survival.
Kind of shit at survival, but okay. Come on. God damn it. 4.
Okay. I'll say if you take the rest of your time, this is the second day. Maybe you take just the carcasses themselves back with you, and skin them back at the house rather than just out and about. You take like the next day to go through the process of skinning these wolves, doing all the cleanup and stuff. I'll say you get 1 fair wolf pelt and 2 that are like not great.
Okay. Did I ever get my nausea-inducing whatchamacallit?
What did you roll for that again?
Not good.
Okay. Back. Okay. You search for a few days, and you have an idea of where they should be, but you don't find the plants that you are looking for.
Alright. Cool.
But if you take someone else out with you at a later time, that might have better foraging skills, or hopefully you do better with your skills next time. But at this point, yeah, I didn't find any.
Okay. All of my plans.
All right. And taking it back to the house. Okay. So after the 3 days, you guys get a full rest. Any hit points or anything like that is restored, and you wake up on the 1st of Setchi.
Ah! It's time.
It is fairly early morning. The previous night, you each had been doing your own thing, stayed fairly light into the night, but you guys got a good rest and an early morning start.
And do we know what time frame this thing is going to start?
You guys never specified a specific time. Catherine just asked that you guys come fairly early to set up so that there wasn't any setup going on while guests were arriving.
Yeah, I thought play was gonna be in the evening. It's not.
You guys did
We
say,
just need to get there early enough to set up.
yeah, you guys
Oh.
did say the first night.
Okay, we're just on our way to do some setup then. Okay.
Yeah, then Hoovel and Asher go to the social district, start gathering up all the stuff. I'll go help Platter gather up all that stuff, and we will convene at Catherine's.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Come on, Google.
And then just before I leave, I want to double check. I have both of the good sword and helmet in my bag.
Okay, so specifically those 2 in your bag.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll say we don't really have to make the stops. Actually, Hoovel and Asher, you meet up with Grief, and they seem like they're already prepped and ready to go, and they're starting to take stuff. So they appreciate the help getting everything over there. It seems like they're not waiting on you guys, but appreciate that you guys showed up to help.
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
And then Blanche, You go to the engine one last time to pick up the last of what Clatter said that he would be working on overnight. And for the rest of the payment, you give that to him. He gives you all the stuff. It is quite a bit difficult. I'll say you already brought the armors over to Grief.
Wait. I don't know if you missed it or misunderstood. When I was talking to Clatter, I was saying that he would sell them at the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dakota's on the inside.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you had 2 sets of armor and 15 swords plus the 2 swords that you already had. That's a lot for just 2 people to carry.
Well, I was thinking we'd have like a cart that he would sell them from.
Okay. Yeah. You can
And
do
I
that.
would just have him pull the cart
Okay.
over there.
So yeah, you guys put together a cart of all of the things, and
It's like one of those like hot dog carts
yeah.
Now
With
you're
just-
pushing it.
with just like swords spinning.
Nice.
Sure.
And you're like, I guess.
If anybody could do it, it would be Clatter.
Yeah. But you guys all do arrive at Catherine's Manor.
How much for all the gates?
For you, it's 1, 2, 3, and for them, it's 3 as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I pay 3.
And then I will pull you guys over. I don't know where Hoovel went. I'm setting Hoovel down. Dakota, I don't know if you can set Hoovel down. Oh no,
Can you pull me
it's
over?
because he's flying.
Oh, just like way up in the air.
No, it put him below everything.
Uh,
So I'll disable flying.
oh, it set him at a height.
Yeah.
Got it. Maybe we'll take note of that and send a message over to Bouncy Rock.
Yeah. Okay. Blanche. And then there's Clatter. And there's a cart. And then fucking Grief. Sorry, as I'm just setting all this up. If you guys have any last minute things that you want to talk about on the way here, or anything like that, Asher, if you had anything that you want to talk to Grief about last minute.
Feeling pretty set with Grief. Before we depart, like, broke away, I'd like to tell my party members, like, while we're in our house. I forgot to mention it before, that getting some thugs to create a disturbance was a good to go. I have a crew.
Okay.
Yeah. That was it.
Okay.
Okay. And then I believe it was that. Should have set these guys up before because I knew they'd be coming. And then last person. Okay, so Asher, you would arrive first with Hoovel and Grief and the 3 Pinkston, Beamos, and Casper.
Okay, sweet.
You guys do notice that they have closed down the theater for the day, and kind of like hung up a sign that's like closed for the day. We'll be back tomorrow.
What board is this?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I haven't pulled you guys yet.
I saw from your stream, like, the setup, but I was like, I want to move like that.
Might be. Are you guys all here now?
It's loading, but yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you do note that they have closed down the theater for the day.
Okay.
Um,
Yay. the
but
king's all-
your group arrives first.
Okay. All right, team. It's setup day. I look to Grief.
And Grief is kind of just like looking off in the distance, kind of like his blanked face. But as you say that, he kind of like pops back in, takes a deep breath, and puffs up his chest and says, "Yes, team, we this is the day we have been preparing for. We will get in there. We need to set up all of our things to begin with. This is a house of respect, and I expect all of you to play the part of people who respect that."
Yes, sir.
And as you do approach, he kind of like does that like sarcastic march, but he's not being sarcastic about it at all. That's just him.
Enthusiastic.
Yeah. And as you guys approach, the same orcish female guard out front nods at you as you approach. This is now like the 10th time that you guys have met, so they know you and let you pass.
I like to think we're friends, even. Friend?
Do you say that, or are you just thinking that?
I'm just thinking that to myself. I'd be like, oh yeah, I know you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But as you approach the door, you don't even need to knock. You guys walk down the path, and as you get closer, the door opens, and inside you see Ellis, the head butler. And says, "Ah, yes, do come in. The master was expecting you."
Yay.
And then as you walk in, everyone kind of like fills in behind you. And inside you see Catherine with one of his guardsmen right next to him. And again, just like the size difference being that Catherine stands about like 8 feet tall, while his guardsman is a halfling who stands like 3.5 feet tall. So not even half of his height. Which just makes Catherine look even bigger in comparison.
Hi, Catherine. We're here.
And he says, "Oh, hello, Asher. Please do come in." And as you do, Alice is just like, "Yes, and any weaponry, please put on this table."
I do it again where I like kind of like awkwardly pull out my lyre and I'm like, do I set you down? Do I not set you down? But then I'm like, all right, I guess I put you here.
"I do believe you might need that for the performance."
Oh, phew! I'm glad you said so. I like tuck it back on my person.
Okay. Gives a quizzical look to Hoovel.
Go on then. I like pat him down. Where are you hiding something?
I just take out my bow and like set it somewhere
Okay.
On this table over here.
and give them, yeah, on the table, and then give them like a very like stern look, like ruffle up my feathers a little bit, like death itself is watching them.
Don't worry, nobody's gonna take it.
Roll an intimidation check.
Pretty sure I'm not really good at those, but alright. God, what
I
the
feel
hell?
like you always like. Oh, actually, there was one time where you just like scared.
Is there really not a
Ten.
bow?
There's not a bow. I'll just put some arrows down.
Weird.
Yeah,
It-
this
it's
will
a 10.
represent it. Okay. He seems unfazed.
Yeah, I wave him, wave him away. Like nobody's gonna steal your stuff here. Yeah.
And as you guys do walk in, you see as one of the other members puts down a staff. You see this as
Another person pulls
Bemos.
up 47 daggers.
One of
Um,
them is just like packing.
and then you see as Casper, the human woman, comes up and kind of like lifts up her dress, and you can see a short sword that's kind of like attached to the side of her thigh.
Wow, I didn't realize you guys have weapons.
Full katana.
Yeah, performer by day, samurai by night.
Pinkston kind of walks up and just shrugs.
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
Okay, good.
And Grief kind of gives a quizzical look, but sets down a shield that he wears on his back. While technically not weaponry, he's kind of just doing it just in case.
I look at my party kind of like, these guys. Are we just actors here? Like, I didn't know you guys had other lives or like knew how to use weapons.
They'll kind of like look at you, and Casper's kind of says, well, you're always gone, so it doesn't make sense that you would know all about us.
Wow! I'm like, all right with you. Okay, I think that's everything, Catherine.
He says, well, terrific. Then please come in, enjoy yourselves. We have had made some preparations. As of yet, there aren't. Everything's not set up. Still going through the process, but please enjoy yourselves while you're setting up as well. Inside, you see Catherine is in his usual noble wear that consists of the Kesdon colors of red and black. While dressed up regally, you see that he is not wearing his sword on his hip and it's in its sheath. And you don't see any other pieces of like battle ready armor or anything like that. He seems to be in casual wear for a noble.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah, let's get to it.
He says, terrific. Let me show you all into the ballroom. And he takes you guys into that, the first door on the right, that has the large table and kind of like that stage area where you guys will be performing. You can see as of right now, there are plates and cups being set on the table, but there isn't like any food. But you see like the table has been set up so that everyone has view of the stage. And as he shows you guys in, the rest of the like ensemble filters in and bringing in their respective pieces that they've been carrying.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just start getting busy with like laying out tapestries or like hanging things up. Yeah. Kind of keeping my hands at work.
All right. And then not shortly after, Blanche, you show up with Clatter.
Okay.
You guys have your armor and swords in tow. As you approach, you see that the front door again opens on your approach. And Ellis comes to the door to greet you as well.
And I'm bringing with me the like actual replica of the stuff that we will be using in the play.
Okay.
And I'm holding the armor. Like, I'm struggling to carry the armor and the sword with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I am just, like, carrying them.
Okay. As you approach, and Ellis opens the door and sees you kind of, like, struggling, he will come out and offer to, like, help with some.
Oh yeah, and then I just put everything in his hands.
Okay. So yeah, as he comes up, he's like, "Oh, let me help with that, Master Blanche," and kind of like puts his arms out, looking like he's going to like take half of the load of the armor. And then you're like,
I put
"Awesome!"
the entire armor into his arms, and
right.
I only carry the sword.
Surprisingly enough, it doesn't knock him over, and he seems to be able to hold it, off-put a little bit, but for his size, it seems respectable that he's able to actually carry this.
Yeah, good butler.
Yeah, good job. And then I just walk inside.
Mm-hmm. And as you're leaving, Clatter says, yes, I will be out here or inside.
I think out here to begin with. Maybe later we'll move it inside.
You see kind of like he relaxes a bit and is just like, good, outside.
We'll leave it outside.
And then
he just like pulls a string on his cart and it like folds down. And...
I was just gonna say like he like starts pulling out stuff and like does like a makeshift stand just out of like pieces of the cart, and almost like a kid making a transformer, like pulls pieces and like now everything's on like nice display.
Nice.
Yeah, then I walk inside. Can't grab my person. There we go.
I'm like, we're down here.
Yeah.
I hear like the ruckus there.
I'll say as you're leaving, you catch a glimpse of the guard that's outside, the orcish woman, kind of like peek over and starts walking over to the stand and like looking over the stuff.
Okay. Good.
But let's see if Ellis remembers to. Nope. He is not going to ask you for your weapons if you had any. He rolled a natural 1. So yeah, he follows you in with the armor. And yeah, you make your way in. You see all of the rest of the group like in the midst of setting up just different props, different scenery, setting things off to the side in an order of how they're going to be used. You do see 2 halflings at the far side of the room that are kind of like wearing heavier armor, kind of talking amongst themselves as Catherine is they are keeping an eye on Catherine.
Okay. I walk up to Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
And Catherine, I would like to show you some of the replicas that we were able to create. It was we didn't have enough time to make them as good as we could, but I feel like they are very close. And with that, I like offer him the replica sword.
And he takes it and holds it and roll an insight check. He's not trying to hide anything.
Yeah, it's a 8.
Okay. So you do see kind of like a bit of surprise on his face as he kind of like takes it and then kind of like swings it up a bit.
And this is the one that's like not the perfect replica.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be clear.
Yeah, and he's looking it over and yes. This looks quite similar, and you see as he kind of gives it like a I don't even know how to describe it, but like a pinwheel flick of his wrist, how you would see like a swordsman flip around their sword, and somewhat fumbles right at the end and catches it. The balance seems a bit different, but quite good craftsmanship.
We also made some extras for guests if they wanted a replica. So we do have some party favors for people that show up if they so choose, as well as, and I wave the butler in, as well as a replica set of his armor.
Yeah, and you can see like the armor is bigger than him as he's like kind of trying to fireman carry it, but struggling still, and kind of like tries to hold it up for Catherine to see, like,
just show it.
yeah.
I grabbed the helmet off of the armor. I'm like, so this is the replica that we were able to make off of the helmet. Again, we didn't have as much time as we would have liked to make as best of a replica as we could, but I feel like that these will definitely portray him in good light. And then I start going over the armor, and I'm like, obviously we didn't have a actual piece of his armor to get an exact replica, but we did speak with some people and got what we believe to be a very good replica of his armor. And I'm showing as he's like trying to hold it up. I'm like going over some of the details and stuff.
Yeah, and Catherine kind of like claps his hands together once and starts like rubbing them together as he's just like, yes, this is perfect.
And as a thank you for this, I would like you to have this replica of his armor after the play.
I thank you all, and motions to you, but also motions to like the rest of the group and says, "This is all splendid, and I thank you." And looks back to you, Blanche. Thank you for giving me this gift. I appreciate it.
Hopefully the play doesn't beat it up too much.
Yes.
But as far as I know, and I might just not know, is there any replicas of his armor? Like his actual armor?
Like in existence?
In a museum or at the Pantheon.
Oh, there are paintings of him.
But no, like actual.
But that you know of, roll a history or religion check.
Doesn't matter. It's a nat 20, bitch.
Dope.
It's a 21.
So yeah, you know for a fact that people don't have replicas of his armor. They have paintings and descriptions of it in stories, but people don't really have like
this is
a
like
full.
The only replica of his armor.
Yeah.
All right. Dope.
Short of like, there is a statue of Jorg in the Pantheon that has armor on, but it's not his adventuring armor, it is his godly armor.
Yeah.
So this is the only replica of his adventuring armor.
Okay, so this replica would actually probably be worth quite a bit.
Yes. Be it that it's like close. So like most of the helmets are pretty good. But the set of armor, you have 2 sets of armor, I believe.
We only have 1 full set of armor.
Correct. Yeah, you have 1 full set of armor, and then you had multiple helmets.
Yeah.
So yeah, this full set of armor would probably fare quite above price of what you made it for.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's he's probably pretty excited about that.
Yeah, he you can tell he's very, very happy about this. That being said, after this, he does go up to you, Asher, and somewhat pulls you aside. Asher, can I please talk to you over here for a bit?
I put down whatever I'm busying myself and head over this way.
And then I just start helping set up the scene and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just start working like I'm supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm. Dope.
I'll start just putting up some stuff.
All right. And Asher, he kind of leans into you and says, Asher, this is all going very splendidly. I couldn't be happier. I just want to know, I trust you, but are all of these people trustworthy folk? So far, we've been monitoring the room, but I feel my guards could be used elsewhere if you do trust all of these people.
I know these people, and I love them. I feel as though they should be trustworthy. Besides, everybody here will be busy at work. There's no chance for them to misbehave because all eyes will be on them.
Terrific. And kind of looks over at the guards who have been posted up. They are talking amongst themselves, but you can tell they're like scanning the room and watching everyone individually. And they nod. The heavier armored halfling male kind of comes over and steps by Catherine, and the other one that's been in the room since before you steps out and then turns right around the corner out of your view.
Yeah, no need to kill the mood with all these armed personnel. Today we focus on the art. Oh, that looks cool. I like the layering you did with that.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, that looks nice. Yeah,
Okay.
all coming together.
So introductions have been given. You guys are setting up the different scenes and like the different like setting things up so that they can be brought up on stage quickly in an order of the play. Is there anything else you guys would like to do specifically other than setting up during this time? If not, we're probably going to skip towards when other people start arriving later.
Okay.
Yes,
don't think-
I do.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm gonna try something real quick.
Okay.
oh,
I can make a float. Oh, that's
If
that's
I-
cool.
I think you can.
Ah, darn it.
Oh, you can't hide it and keep the light.
No.
Dang. If I,
Put it in a hide volume.
yeah,
I think, and if you do the hide volume where it keeps the light.
yeah. There, and then
Nope, it hides
filters.
the light. Oh wait, and then
No, the light is part of the creature.
darn it. Oh well.
Unfortunate.
I thought it was gonna be a cool idea.
Yeah. So yeah, Hoovel, what would you like to do?
So I'm gonna look for some religious-y item that I can take that can be easily replaced, just in like a few minutes or something.
Okay. What do you mean by religious-y item?
Like we can quickly run over to the church place and get it, get a different version of it or a copy of it or something of the sort.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Roll an investigation check for me.
Right.
This is something that I was actually helping him with, so can I give him advantage by helping?
Yeah, if you're also
Okay.
looking and giving him like, hey,
This is something me
24.
and him talked about, but he rolled really well.
Okay.
This was the
24.
thing that I pulled him down and talked to him about earlier,
okay.
so he might have an idea of something he's looking for.
Yeah, and if you were in on this, you could look around yourself while you're doing other things and kind of like point out anything that you would be able to see if you want to also roll.
Okay.
the fire flowers look awesome.
Yeah, they're really cool.
That's 18.
Okay, and then Hoovel,
I got a
20 what?
24.
24. Yeah, I'll say in this in like the ballroom, you don't see really anything that stands out as religious. It seems to be a mostly barren room, mainly so that there's nothing to distract from
out
the
of-
play.
Out of our play stuff. Not
Yeah, I'm at
from
the
his
play
house.
stuff.
Oh, out of the play stuff.
Wait, this one always looks like a fake tree.
There was
Yeah,
the,
I God, I don't know what you guys are planning, so I
There's
Okay.
the amulet Beamos made.
Yeah, there's
but
the
the amulet is one that wouldn't be easily replaced.
yeah, there's the amulet, but it wouldn't be easily replaced. You do find there's like not necessarily holy water, but it's labeled as holy water. There's also just like different symbols of the gods that would be laid about. Not like an amulet like Jorg's, but like just the overall like godly symbols of the characters that you probably could get at the Pantheon or somewhere else, or make up fairly
Alright.
quickly.
Is it so you said the holy water?
Yeah,
That's not actual holy water.
yeah,
But
it's
can that be procured from the?
yeah. I mean, you're helping set up, so it wouldn't be weird for you to pick up some of the props. So yeah, you could easily just like pick that up and leave with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up the holy water, and leave with it, dump it somewhere, and then come back and put the thing back.
Okay. So dump out the holy water, put it back, so it looks like there's just no holy water in it.
Yep.
Okay.
What are you guys planning?
I don't know.
I'm also on the outside of this one.
Okay. So yeah, you can go ahead and do that. Super easy. I'll say while you're outside, you do notice that the orcish woman guard, you see that in addition to her normal suit of armor and sword and shield, they also have another sword on their hilt that's one of the replica of Jorg's old sword.
Oh.
They bought one of the props.
Okay, how is the scene?
Looks
It
great.
looks good.
Obviously, it doesn't actually portray anything, but I feel like
It's
it still
stagey.
works. It's stagey.
Yeah.
It looks like those push-up props.
Yeah.
I was looking for like a small, like tree, because I could do something like this.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that.
So I'll say, while you guys are going through this setup, towards like the end of the setup for you guys, you do start catching like a couple murmurs from the like cast that are helping set up. And they like kind of call over Grief, and they're like, "Hey, Grief, we have a little issue, but nothing too terrible." And they kind of call him over. And as they call him over, you guys do realize that they have like the vial that had the water in it. They're talking to him.
At this point, I look at Dakota's character and like raise my eyebrow, and just kind of be like, "Now?"
I shake my head.
Okay.
And
You're muted, Paisley. Paisley.
I hear you. Okay. I'm like,
you're not
Hoovel will
Catherine.
get this. Whoa. Get out of here, Catherines.
Paisley,
Hey,
hit
GM
F7.
mode. I did. Okay. Yeah. Hoovel will there. I'm getting like error messages. Hoovel will go get this. I push it into his hands, and do I say, can I use message? If I use message, do I have to speak out loud?
It is a thing that you have to cast. So people will
Okay.
know that you're casting message.
I'm like, walk and talk, Hoovel. Walk and talk. Come on.
And they're kind of like, all right, and get back to what they were doing.
I'm gonna use the
Okay.
restroom real quick.
Okay.
So take this vial and don't come back for a long time, you hear?
I shrug and be like, okay.
Okay. Yeah. You take it, don't come back for a while. You'll know because I'll go outside and I'll be like, where did that guy go? And once you see me, you know you come back with that vial of holy water.
Okay.
Oh, well, but we'll probably need you. Damn it. Okay. You go get it now. This plan was a bust.
Didn't think it through, huh?
No. You go get... I wasn't a part of it. I'm just facilitating. I don't know why you guys needed to do that anyways. I'm going back inside. He is on it. Back to setting up. Big thumbs up all around.
Not suspicious at all. He has got this.
uh,
All right.
Lacey, you're not a part of this. Stop trying to make changes.
I'm not trying to make changes.
I don't know why you just sent Hoovel out.
Well, they already noticed. Now he has to go get more.
I continue working on the scene.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Deco, you stepped out at the wrong time. I needed you right then.
You were already taking charge when I stepped out.
All right. So Hoovel, you go out. Are you doing anything special while you're out, or are you just going, filling that up with lake water and coming back?
Basic. Well, I mean, no. She changed the plan a few times. Yeah, I'm just gonna get some lake water and come back.
Okay. So probably like 15 minutes later, Hoovel comes back. You guys have
Yeah.
gotten pretty like most of the way done. Like the rest of the cast is kind of like doing some fidgety, last minute setup, but they're not really doing anything other than trying to calm their own nerves by setting up more. It is starting to get later in the afternoon as Hoovel comes back. The sun is probably an hour or so from setting.
A
It's
full
way
day
too
has
bright.
passed. Yeah.
The whole day has passed.
There we go.
Ooh.
So it's getting to sunset. And last check, is there anything else you guys would like to do at this time?
Not that I want to do.
All right.
No.
So as the end of the day approaches, you start hearing voices out in the hallway as Ellis leaves the main hall, and you can hear him open the door and start talking to other people.
Okay, so guests are starting to appear?
Yeah, guests are starting to arrive.
Okay. When guests are starting to appear, I'm gonna go out and be with Clatter.
Okay.
Just trying to help, draw attention, get people to come over and pick up.
Okay.
Help him sell the replicas.
Right. So yeah, as you guys are standing there with the cart, you see.
Do I see if the guard has an extra sword hanging from there? belt? Or an
Yes,
extra
you
sword?
also see that they have one of the replica swords hanging from their belt.
Nice. Nice.
But upon standing there, you see as a shorter, rotund human male approach, balding on the top, blondish hair on the sides going down into a large bushy beard, wearing again kind of like these red-black robes, but his has more of like a purple flourish in it. Looks to be like it is noble robes of Kesdon, but he has put his own flair to it.
Okay.
Behind him, you see, you don't know what race, but someone in full plate, carrying a shield and sword, not drawn like the mini, but just at their side.
Not drawn, but painted.
Yes. And then to his other side, you see what looks to be a rat folk. But it strikes you as strange because normally when you see rat folk, unfortunately, they are more so in like the Ash district, more like in the poorer districts, not well dressed, not doing great for themselves. This one is well dressed, has a short sword and shield, and seems to carry themselves with like a more importance attitude.
Okay.
And then behind them, you see a small kobold dressed in kind of like purple blue dress that kind of comes up into a black collar. You do recognize this kobold as the kobold that you guys met in the Great Library.
Oh, that's the one that we're doing the job for, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And as they approach, do you say anything?
Yeah, I'm just like, I just start saying like, welcome, the show will begin shortly. Please, you can pick up some souvenirs here. Replicas made of what's the guy's name? The
Jorg.
Jorg, of Jorg's adventuring days. You can pick up your own replicas here. We have graciously created them for you guys. You can talk to Clatter here about any questions you have of them, and feel free to take a look. And I give the kobold just like a small little nod and wink, like things are underway.
Mm-hmm. And as you're saying that, you see the small rotund man kind of come up and look over some of the wares. Excuse me. And doesn't touch anything, but looks over them and like points to something, and the heavily armored person picks it up and holds it out for them to look at. And as you like wink at the kobold, they like look up at you and then like look down. Obviously like very bashful in their appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the rotund gentleman kind of looks to both of you and says, yes, and which one of you fine gentlemen crafted these fine implements?
And I give a little bow and hands over to Clatter, signifying that he was the one.
And he looks to Clatter and says, yes, this is fine work. Let me ask, do you have an employer, perchance? And Clatter kind of like bows slightly and says, I do my work at the engine as of right now. And the human male says, yes, I believe that will not do for right now. You shall come work for me. And I will pay you for that, of course. And looks back towards the Cobalt and says, please go over with them their pay and what they will be doing. And also points back towards the cart and says, also one of each. Thank you. And turns around and starts going inside with the 2 guards following them.
Okay, well, it doesn't sound like Clatter has much of a choice.
Clatter right now is just kind of like, doesn't know what to say. And as he goes in, you see Ellis opens the door for them and goes through like the whole thing. And again goes through like the please place your weapons here, and I would say with your passive perception you'd probably also hear this. They're not being quiet about it. You hear the human again say, give up their weapons? That's ridiculous. That's why they're here. And then you don't hear the other side because Ellis isn't as loud as this gentleman.
Yeah.
And after like a bit of back and forth, you hear him say, well, I feel like this is a bit outrageous, but my guards are well equipped enough that hand-to-hand combat is nothing for them. Yes, please follow what they say. But you don't really see anything that's going on inside.
Yeah.
Outside, you see as the Cobalt lady goes up to Clatter and says, yes, so how much will each of these be? And Clatter looks at that and looks back at her and goes over like selling her some stuff and says, and yes, I know this is a bit brash, but please do come by the manor, and directs him just left of the Great Library, or just west of the Great Library, towards a manor. And please do stop by. I do think you will be paid handsomely if you took this offer. And then goes inside themselves. Inside, Hoovel and Asher. You guys.
Out of curiosity, what
Yeah.
did he sell them for?
So let's see. It was 100 gold, for 10 of them. So it took him 10 gold to make each one. So I'll say he doubles the price and sells them each for 20.
Okay.
So they paid him 40 gold.
Okay.
But inside Asher and Hoovel, you both hear this like outburst as well, with this person coming in and disagreeing with the weapon rule. And you can see as Catherine kind of excuses himself and goes out into the hallway. And then you hear like the back end of that conversation as well, with like him agreeing to the terms and announcing that his guards are better than any other guards anyway. So it doesn't matter if they have weapons or not.
Huh. Dick. You a guest in someone else's home. You follow the rules.
So then adds that and that. And a short while later, you see Catherine step back in, followed by Ellis, who then like kind of takes a sidestep to the side of the doorway, and announces as they walk in, "Attention all, Hadir approaching with his +3,
Dear.
leader of the crafting district," and he kind of nods and
Now we know who our actual employer is.
Yeah.
nods to him and kind of like waves his arm, and everyone kind of like looks around, and a couple of the stagehand are kind of like, "Oh yeah, clap."
Okay.
Seems like he was expecting a round of applause, but
I do clap in participation. If I see somebody else do it, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
but it's him, as well as the rat folk and the heavily armored person, both without weapon or shield, but still fully armored. And you see as he steps in, Ellis leads him towards like the back of the tables and pulls out a chair for him to sit down. You see that they also leave like a few seats open for his associates, but they stand behind him, just kind of like at attention.
Mm-hmm.
And as he sits down, it kind of like disrupts the flow of the room that you guys had, because you'd already finished with all the setup. You guys were just talking amongst yourselves. And then as he steps in and sits down, everything's kind of like quieter than when he wasn't here. People are a little like uneasy. You see him kind of like sit back into his chair, take out like a pocket square and starts to dab his forehead, obviously just like sweating somewhat profusely.
Okay. I'm like, places, people. Let's be ready. And I'll like tuck behind and stuff. We are. Where's Hoogle? Where are you gonna be? Where do we stand if we're not a part of it?
Are you not a part of the play, basically?
Oh wait, no. I'm actually in the play. Yeah.
And as people kind of just go back to talking, and people aren't preparing for the play just yet.
Oh wait, one
Oh,
thing
okay.
that I didn't
It's still too
think
early.
about. I'm gonna do it real quick. Is an area for like the quick change stuff. So when people have to change their outfits and things,
Yeah.
there'd probably be something.
Like a room for it.
Okay.
A fire hazard.
Yeah, just burst into flames.
Aw, wait, I like it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and you guys somewhat get back to your general jovialness, talking amongst yourselves. You do see as Catherine goes and talks to Hadir. Hadir doesn't really like stand or anything, just kind of talks to him over his shoulder as Catherine's standing behind him. And then
What a guy.
after like 30 or so minutes of this, Blanche, you see another set of people coming up.
Wow, this guy showed up early. And I do the same kind of spiel.
Okay.
Limited stock. Get it while you can. First come, first serve.
This group you see a black dragonborn, as well as a tabaxi, and another fairly well-armed, but you can tell it's human.
Okay.
And as they approach, you can see as you give your spiel, and they kind of stop and look over the different things and nods, and then continues on. You see as the door to the manor opens up as they approach, as Ellis is standing in the doorway again.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that you're helping Clatter sell. It's not the selling sort. We need somebody like you to like reel him in.
Oh, I was trying to look for Ellis. Found him. Welcomes them in. Again, tells them to put their weapons down. No outbursts this time. Just you do hear from inside the doorway, just like a general, like, yes, of course.
Yeah, you know, the respectful thing to do.
Yeah. Heck.
Uh,
I wonder who that guy was. A black dragonborn?
two.
I'm assuming all of these characters are like deeply ingrained into your world, Kyle, and have like backstories and stuff.
Of course.
They're all kinds
Every single one.
All right, history check on every single one that comes in.
A bit later, the rest of you inside the room see Ellis come back in. Doors open, and inside you also see the Black Dragonborn walk in. Again, black and red robes adorning them. It seems somewhat in between Catherine and Hadir's outfits, where Catherine is more like very casual. Hadir is like even more decorated than the average noble, and this Black Dragonborn seems to be wearing somewhat like what you would expect a noble to be wearing, just somewhat pompous but not outrageous.
Okay.
Just enough to know he's noble.
Exactly. And as they come in, Ellis says, approaches Alvis Reigns, controlling of the shipyard, head of Dragon Trading Company. And then you kind of see, again, like some of the crew kind of like claps. This time they're a bit ready for it, because last time they weren't expecting to clap for people.
Yeah.
And kind of gives a bit of a round of applause.
What Hadir didn't get.
Yeah. And I'll say you guys don't even need to roll for it. Hadir is kind of like upset that he got a bigger applause.
Goofy, that's what you get.
And as he comes in, you see Catherine excuses himself from talking to Hadir and goes over and talks to this guy. They exchange pleasantries and leads him to kind of like the other side of the table, away from Hadir. And they sit down and then offer the end two seats to their compatriots. Ellis then goes out to the front. Blanche and Clatter, it is now past sunset, and Ellis comes out and says, yes, Master Blanche, those were the last of the guests. If you would both like to come in and enjoy part of the feast.
Clatter, you're welcome to join, or if you'd prefer to stay out here, feel free as well.
Clatter does say, I will stay.
Very well. And then I go inside.
And as you leave, Alice looks back at Clatter and says, if you do change your mind, please do just come in. Okay. So yeah, as you guys are now all in the ballroom, it's starting to fill up quite a bit with people. And now that everyone is here, you can start seeing some groups are forming with people talking about different things. Catherine has gone over and started talking to Alvis, the Black Dragonborn. And you start seeing an older elvish figure that Blanche you've seen before, that was around when you guys came to get the measurements and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And another older elven woman are kind of like going in and out of the room, bringing in different plates of food.
Okay.
And then pretty soon a banquet is kind of just laid out amongst the table. You see as people just kind of like start taking portions of whatever they would like. It seems to be an open banquet. As some of the stagehands start getting ready for what they are doing. And Asher, people have somewhat settled in. And Grief comes up to you and says, yes, so, Asher, would you like to start this play?
Oh. Yeah. It's time. Okay. I kind of take the center stage.
And you can see some people are still, like, mingling about, but as they see you guys are, like, starting to, like, come together and show that you're about to begin, they begin to take their seats.
Sweet. All, welcome. We will be presenting the early life of Jorg. Glad you all could join us here for this very special, very exclusive showing of our very own production here. Grief, our stage master, will be facilitating. We do hope you enjoy. Like, give a deep, grand bow, and take my place.
Okay. Then, I would like to ask, before the play begins, last check. Do you guys want to do anything specific?
So I'm going to be going back and forth between helping everybody get their gear ready and gathering small things, probably from one of the butlers. Like, oh, we need a little bit more water, blah blah blah. Just
Okay.
like things like that.
Yeah, and
But I want it to be like I'm like the go-to between the theater group and the help.
okay. So yeah, just so you guys all understand the setup of the room, the theater people are up on stage, and then the two elven people are going like between the table and the kitchen, kind of like filling up pitchers, replacing food that's eaten or almost gone, and just keeping everything stocked, making sure any spills or messes are cleaned up almost immediately. So yeah, you go in between and kind of like tell them like, oh, the stage hands need a pitcher of water or things like that, because they aren't focused on these stage hands.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just establishing the fact that I am going to be going between these people and the servants and help and stuff.
All right.
But other than that, I think the play is ready to begin.
All right. So yeah, Grief steps forward after Asher gives the opening and says, "Yes, a tale of old. One that people may already know, but have never seen." And just is really getting into this like mysterious
You're muted.
While he's like giving this the actual introduction to the play, I'm gonna be doing like minor illusion, where it's gonna be like soft drumming in the background, getting faster and harder when he's like revving up.
Oh, I'll do it as well. I'll use my minor illusion to like help flourish things.
Okay.
Where it's like a tale is old and it shows like a silhouette of him like going to swing his sword and somebody else blocking it.
Yeah.
Dope.
Mine almost look like shadow puppets on the walls, whereas Paisley's are a little bit more vivid and vibrant.
Yeah. And as you guys are doing this, Catherine kind of like claps to himself, and seems very excited. The other two seemed less so like excited, but they are actively listening.
At one point, I do like a silhouette of Jorg holding up his sword, and Paisley does a sun sparkle around it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're tackling. Yay.
And Grief says, "And with that, without further ado, we begin." And kind of like flourishes off the stage as crap, I keep forgetting their names. Pinkston, dressed in the armor, as he's kind of the only one amongst the cast that fit it, come out clinking. And Asher, this is even more so kind of like hilarious to you because Pinkston is more of like a druid type, so seeing him in full plate is just very awkward.
What the heck, dude? Not his personality.
Yeah, just not him, but he's just the biggest of all of you.
Yeah.
So tends to fill that role when it comes up.
Nice.
Yeah, and kind of just goes through. You see him kind of like read off, "Oh, woe is me," giving like a verbal monologue of Jorg, going through like finding his patron, like very beginning of adventuring, finding like the light of his god and figuring out that his god has chosen him to go through this task, and all of this just being like Act 1 of pretty much a solo performance of Pinkston.
Yeah, monologue time. We're on the side, like, buffing up the illusion too, like, glittering golden light.
Mm-hmm.
Like, smells of old temples whenever we can incorporate them with, like, the minor illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then while the first performance is going on, you can tell that the two elven people are bringing in like kind of like the first course meal, kind of like appetizers and things like that, just to get people going, and just kind of seeming like a lighter meal at this point.
The first. Yeah.
Is there anything you guys would like to do during Act 1?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just gonna continue to be doing my minor illusions to help with the play, grabbing little things that they need, directing Hoovel to help people out when they need it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then Hoovel, you're helping with that, unless you would like to do anything on your end.
Nope, I'll just look up.
Hoovel, keep an eye out for something that we talked about earlier to replace what happened earlier.
Well, actually, I had a different end for that.
Okay.
Oh.
Good.
God damn
And
it,
if you
you
need
guys.
to tell me something, you can do it in Thieves' Cant.
Oh yeah. I'll just do that then.
Yeah, these can. I gotta learn that.
I was just gonna make a big scene about how it's pond water, not actual blessed water, and just go really big dramatic with it.
Oh, I was thinking somebody should like kick it over again and be like, oops, no water.
Oh yeah, I can do
Yeah,
that.
what if while you were moving you fell?
Ah,
Yeah, let's do that.
okay. I still have no idea why you guys are doing that. But
So
we're
you'll have
rolling.
to get me a signal of some sort when to kick it off.
Okay. You got that.
And then, Asher, are you doing anything during this time?
Nope. I am in stage mode.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my scene to come on.
Okay. After Pinkston kind of gives his spiel and goes through doing all this, the act 1 ends with his god giving him a mission to go out and save like the town that is the main worshiper, like to save the town from this great evil that is approaching, that no one knows of yet, and ends with Pinkston proclaiming that he must now find others with great talent to aid him in his mission, and kind of like people kind of thaumaturge a little bit of darkness around as he flourishes off the stage. You see as Catherine kind of like kicks back his chair and gives a standing applause. Others give an applause, not as enthusiastic, but still quite enjoying the play as they eat. And as you look out into the crowd, they are talking amongst themselves. You can see, particularly, no one's really sitting around Hadir or talking to him, but the right-hand guard of Kethryn, the smaller halfling in plate armor, is talking to Alvis Rains, somewhat casually, which strikes you as odd, but they seem to just be talking amongst themselves.
Okay.
How many acts are in this?
You guys probably would have talked about it. So there's Act 1, which is the prologue. Act 2, finding other adventurers to help with this quest. Act 3 is the travel to the Great Evil, and then Act 4 is the final act with fighting and defeating the Great Evil.
And then is there epilogue?
Yeah, and then there's sorry, that's not it's like the finale of the main arc, and then there's epilogue Act 5, which is kind of like Jorg going through the thought process of like, I've done my god's bidding, but now what's the reason of having a god in this world? Yeah. And goes through that like moral conflict, and then ends with the adventuring party rising up against the gods.
Okay.
So end of Act 1, Grief comes back on stage and says, "Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Please be prepared for the next act, and use this time, grab some more drink, and relax for a bit as we set up." and then they go about like the couple minutes of setup for like changing scenery and stuff.
I tell Hoovel to do it in Act 3.
Okay.
What do you say in Thieves' Cant?
I just tell him, make sure you're ready for Act 3.
Oh, okay. And I'll get it on the DL.
Yeah, no. But, I mean, you do see me talking to Hoovel, but we've been talking the entire time.
Oh no, I was just wondering if it was gonna be something goofy. Like,
Oh, no, I just tell him
the
to be
whale
ready in
has
Act 3.
feet or something, like 3 times 3, or I don't know. That's what I envision Thieves' Cant is.
Make sure the rats have 3 pancakes.
Yeah, like...
And everyone else is just like, the fuck this guy talking about? And they're like, it's Thieves' Cant.
No. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. So they set up and prepare for Act 2, and this time you see as Pinkston goes out on stage, and the scenery is kind of like that of a town, and is talking to like this cloaked figure that Bemos is taking over. Bemos dressed in like this turquoise dark robe, face hidden by like a black mask, trying to give the appearance of like a shadow over the face. But it's a little rough. And Pinkston is like, "Yes, Leskill, I have heard of your travels about and believe you would be a terrific member of my party. I have been given the great mission from Amantur to defeat the evil that plagues this town." And just super getting into it. And go about like recruiting Laskell, the which you guys know as Laskell the True Mage. And then the scenery somewhat shifts, and whoops, sorry, I clicked off the screen. You see as he talks about traveling into the forest, and all of like the travel and stuff is just Pinkston kind of like outer monologuing, like, "Yes, and now we are traveling through the forest," which is where your role comes in, Asher. As people usher you out, you're playing the role of Casa, Lady of Life. You're dressed in like what looks to be like robes made out of fur and leaves, very similar to what your patron kind of wears, but more so like furs and bone incorporated in it. So it's not just like plant life, but plant life and animal life.
Nice. I'll like Misty step onto the stage, so I just appear like
Dope.
a godly entity. Man, I hope we get into a fight. I can hide her illusion at will, but I can't do this shit at will.
So yeah, they're just like they travel, and there's like a waterfall on the background, and Pinkston is just like, "I've heard of Casa. The expert druid makes her home here, but I don't know where she could be."
Here I am, appearing before you, great warrior. Yeah.
And then this next part of the act goes through like getting Leskill, Casa, promising like riches or knowledge to Leskull about like other planes, promising to keep the forest and life safe for Casa. After your role, and then you kind of like do like the stage thing where like they pretend march as people are like pulling the background behind you to show that it's like shifting scenes. You see as probably unenthusiastically, but still like appearing in the play. You see as Casper kind of like comes out, a black dress on, large like black wings have been like plastered onto like the bottoms of their arms, like a dragon mask with like large horns going up, a single like red jewel embedded in the forehead of the mask, a long tail kind of like wrapped as like it's a belt with like the back of it going into the tail, what looks like, yeah, it's kind of a dragon. And she kind of like comes up on stage, and Jorg goes through like the same spiel of like, you will gain power and glory from defeating this great evil Mortine, and seems to be trying to recruit this large dragon.
Fight with you?
Yeah, to fight alongside of you guys. While the coloring of the dragon is black scales, it's not the same figure as a black dragon would be, so it's like not exactly what a black dragon would be. And I would say, Asher, roll a history or religion check with advantage because it's about the gods.
Woo! Woo!
Dope.
I'm getting it. They're both a +2, so not natural 20.
Okay. So yeah, this is the Great Dragon Mortine, before they were renowned as a god. And Mortine is a shadow dragon versus just a black dragon.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. We'll imbue like a dark, shadowy presence around her, so that way she's kind of wrapped in like mystery.
Yeah, so you see as she appears, and kind of gives off like a pompous like, you fool! You've come to my lair asking for my help. I am powerful. I do not need any more renownedness. And this part of the play is where Jorg is like kind of shut down by Mortine, and they have like a small skirmish where Jorg pulls the prop sword from the hilt and goes through like a mock battle with Casper acting out as a shadow dragon. You see as Beamos kind of pulls out 2 books and holds them in both hands as he pretends to cast spells with like prestidigitation and thaumaturgy, like just sparks shooting out.
Yeah. Nothing actually harmful.
Yeah, it's still technically magic, but not actually casting spells at people.
Yeah, we're doing illusion right now.
But yeah, it goes through like the short battle with the shadow dragon. Neither side coming out really victorious. Just both sides getting beaten down, and then like splitting and making sure that neither side dies.
Yeah.
It does end with Jorg's side somewhat losing, as their whole purpose was to recruit the dragon, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah. We lived our lives, and that is good enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that ends Act 2 of the play. You can see as the actors kind of go off stage, Casper kind of like takes off all this stuff, grumbling to herself like, why do I have to be the shortest role in this?
As this act ends,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to follow Asher
Okay.
back behind, like I'm helping her get ready for this act.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be like, okay, Act 3 is when we need to.
But we need to, huh?
When we need to make the scene.
Oh, okay. Do you guys have that covered?
I
What do you
believe
need from
Hoovel
me?
does.
Okay. Awesome.
Just during the interlude, do it.
Okay.
And then I go back to Hoovel and I say, Asher is ready. Make the scene whenever. And then we go about helping the setup for the next.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure to position myself by the bowl of water or whatever.
Okay. So yeah, that would be on the right side, stage left. You can see as they're like starting to get all of the things ready. You see the large vial of water, and it's a vial, but it's a prop vial, so it's like 2 to 3 times as big as a vial would normally be, just so people can actually see what it is.
So somebody's not just up there holding up their hand, like, what is that?
Exactly. So it's pretty much a jar that is in the shape of a vial, and then on the front of it it says holy water, with a slightly greenish tinted water inside.
Gross. Lake water.
It is lake water.
And then I whisper to Hoovel whenever you're ready.
I'm gonna stumble and trip into the water basin.
Okay.
Thing.
Roll a performance check.
Oh shit.
Now you take the
Good at this.
stage.
Oh, cool.
Oh, but you are.
-1.
Oh.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, as you go over there, you kind of like give like a half like, oh, Asher asked me to help with this, and you start getting stuff ready, and as you go to pick up the thing next to the thing, and then like your wing clips the thing and it tips over and the top pops off and slightly cracks, and all of the water spills out everywhere.
And at that point, I'm gonna like poof out my feathers like I'm really angry and look at someone that's near me that may have, bumped into me or something, and like
Class.
point at them and say, I slaved for hours getting that thrice blessed water. How dare you push me into that? And now I've got to like go back and get all the arch priests and stuff and like try to be really loud, really dramatic,
Like deadly silent right now. My cheeks flush.
making a scene.
I like go over to Grief.
I rush over and I like pick up the jar and like recork it, and like there's not much left in there, and I'm like, I'm holding it.
I go.
Yeah,
I
and you
have
can
the jar
see
ready.
as Casper, the person that was closest, that you just start blaming, and she's just like,
Her.
she's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was well away. I was getting undressed from my costume. I just came out here to start getting things ready. I didn't tip it over.
I leave them and I go gather up with Asher and.
Yeah. We cannot move forward until we have holy water. Put everything on hold. We gotta do like a break real quick.
Well, we're already in an interlude.
Until that fellow returns.
Yeah, you guys see as it is an interlude and people like again start talking amongst themselves, but people have kind of fallen quiet as the shouting and blaming. They kind of all are looking your guys' way.
And then I come up and I'm like, I will see if I can get somebody to help me with it. And then I rush off over to these two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I'm like,
And I'm gonna keep
Go.
being loud and disrespectful and hopefully get kicked out. That's like the goal, is
Oh
to
my
get for me to
gosh.
get kicked out. Like really big scene,
Okay.
really
you-
big drama.
Okay. Yeah. Roll.
I'm the distraction.
Roll
you need
either
to keep them
persuasion.
distracted in here.
What?
Roll either persuasion, deception,
Stay in
or
here.
Okay. Perception. I heard
persuasion, deception, or intimidation. Whatever you're trying to go for.
But while he's doing that, I run over here, and I go to these two, and I'm like, I need somebody to go get us another thing of holy water. We need this as quickly as possible. It's integral to the next act.
Yeah.
You see.
6 persuasion.
Okay, we'll get to that. You see as Ellis nods to the older elven man and says, "Yes, is this something that you can take care of?" And the older elven man says, "Yes, I will return post haste." And grabs the bottle and sprints off, unless you say something.
No, I go with him, and I'm just going through like, it needs to be as pure, and I'm like just walking with him, like describing the holy water.
Okay. Yeah, and he rips open the front door and is taking off like full speed.
And I'm like, and be back as quickly as you can.
Okay.
And then I go back inside and I close the door behind me.
Okay.
And at this point, I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace.
All right.
And then I'm going to, as stealthily, replace both of these things.
Okay. So while you're doing all of that,
Yes.
you cast Pass Without a Trace.
Yes.
Everyone inside the room, things have gone quiet. Hoovel, you're being a jerk to this woman who's just now is getting out of dragon costume, wiping off black makeup and things like that. And which did you choose? Deception, persuasion, or intimidation?
Persuasion 6.
Okay. You're kind of going through all this, and Pinkston kind of comes up and grips your shoulder, kind of like thumb just like on the neck, and like his fingers like wrap around almost like to your shoulder blades, and like leans in, just is like, I think you need to be a bit nicer, and he's going to roll intimidation. And players passive 15. Fuck, just below it. So he is fairly intimidating, but it doesn't get to you.
Cool.
So do with
I'll
that
say
what you
back,
want.
Wait, did you say something about calm down or get out or something?
He said you need to be nicer.
Oh, I'm like, yeah, your face needs to be nicer. It's ugly as shit. And I'll like peck him with my
What?
beak.
You're
All
gonna
right.
peck it?
Roll an
You've
attack
never
roll.
done that before.
Yeah, I've never actually thought to do it before. I don't even know. It's like, I don't know. Let's see here.
I would say it's an improvised weapon, or
So what do I
same
add
as
to
like a punch. So
Okay,
it would
plus
be
4. 17.
Be
yeah.
a strength roll.
Yeah. What was that? Levi?
Oh, 17.
Yeah, 17 hits. So you do 2 damage to this guy as you peck him, and it like scrapes up from like the front of his knuckle all the way back, and it just creates a huge gash in his hand, way more than you were expecting. And he reels back, and everyone is kind of just like stands up, and they're like, "Ooh!" And you can see as the person next to Catherine jumps up across the table and is going to try to grapple you.
Ah!
All right.
Hey! No! What the heck? Grief, do something! Damn!
So is their athletics or acrobatics versus your athletics or acrobatics if you want to resist?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Athletics, acrobatics, +6, acrobatics. So 21.
Yeah, you won. So they attempt to grapple you, and you slip out of it, and you are now face to face with the halfling, ready for combat, and is trying to forcefully push you out of the room.
All right. And as I am like sliding out of the way, can I, quote unquote, trip?
Sure.
And I mean, I gave my bow, but I still have my quiver. So as I trip, I want to try to like make it look like an accident, and just one of my arrows fell out, and one of the blinding arrows. So when it hits the floor, big flash of light.
What the fuck are you doing?
Sure, I'll allow it.
Distraction. I'm being a distraction.
Wait,
The distraction was the thing we needed.
Oh,
Wait.
okay.
I have an idea. After I see you shove off this guy from a grapple, I'm like, and I bust out my leer.
I mean, it wasn't gonna do damage. It's just a blinding arrow.
So
Jeez.
everybody would pounce on you. I'm like, people, get back to the stage of you. Actors, am I right? Looking at the guests. How about until we wait for our proper turn, I play you a little song.
So as you're saying this, you're like, people, BAM! Huge blinding light appears from the side of the room. Hoovel, what's the specifics on that one?
Give me a second.
All right. While he's looking that up, Blanche, what are you up to?
Yeah. Stealthing and stealing.
All right. You're going after the sword and helmet.
Yes.
Okay.
I love that what you're doing is less tense than what's going on in here right now.
That is a 21.
Jesus
Whoa!
fucking Christ. Okay. Rolls
What?
a 3 to get a 21.
With pass without
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
excuse me. No. 21 is right. My math is weird.
Okay.
I first I thought I had a +9, but I just did the math wrong and did my actual stealth.
Okay. So
So 21.
yeah. Yeah, you feel pretty hidden.
Yeah, and then I reach into the bag of holding, I take out the helmet, I swap them out,
All right.
and I do like the Indiana Jones style, where it's like as soon as like the weight stays the same,
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
and then I do the same with this, pulling out the like almost 100% replica.
Mm-hmm.
Everything down to it besides the enchantment is exactly the same, and I swap that out as well.
Okay.
Does it slide into there perfectly?
Yes.
Perfect. And then I put the real one into there, and then I rush back into here, dropping Pass Without Trace as I enter the room.
Okay. As you round the corner, or I guess just right before you round the corner, you see a light flash from inside the room. Hoovel, what were the specifics on the blinding arrow?
It doesn't give a DC. It just says on hit, the chemical releases a bright flash, blinding the target until the start of your next turn.
Okay. The DC for your arrows, I put it on your Google Doc. Let me look at it real quick. Using arrows. 8 plus proficiency plus dex modifier.
BRB.
So it's essentially a spell save,
Yeah,
but just for
using dex.
So 8 plus 3 plus 30, so 6, so 14.
Okay. Fucking. Let me make some rolls. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so out of the people immediately around you, and what type of save is it?
It doesn't say.
Okay, I'll just say for now it's a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw seems correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know why the history didn't save. Oh, wait, maybe it's this one. Nope. Let's look at the dice. Out of those people, you see as both Pinkston, the one that you had pecked before, and the armored halfling both cover their eyes and kind of start writhing as the other two cover their eyes with their arm and seem to be fine.
So funny is right after they're blinded, I cast darkness.
Does the arrows have a
Will you do
radius?
that? It would make it look like a prop malfunction.
No, I don't think so.
Ugh.
Okay. So I'll say it gets those 4 in that corner. And everyone else, it's like a really bright flash, kind of like a camera. But you don't have to make rolls for it. But out of those 4, these 2 seem fine, and these 2 seem blinded.
All right, and after that goes off, I'm gonna try to quickly, like, stand up, yell at the dude I was yelling at, and then try to like storm through the room and out the house while I'm
I enter right after the bright light comes through, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When I enter and I see like him stand up and start huffing and puffing, I'm gonna just like in a loud voice just be like, "Hoovel, outside, stand down," and I'm gonna start just like throwing out orders.
Okay.
Yeah, rein him in.
And so I'm just gonna be like, "Hoovel, stand down, outside," and then what's like his name?
Pinkston.
Pinkston, start cleaning up. Asher, help. What's his name again?
Grief.
Grief, entertain. And I just
Okay.
I follow orders.
Yeah.
I go over there and
You
I start
guys
picking
can-
up all the mess.
You guys can do that. Roll persuasion, intimidation. Either your choice, whatever you're trying to do.
Persuasion 21.
Okay. Yeah. As you say
Intimidation,
that.
20. I'm gonna do intimidation. It's same roll.
Okay.
21.
Yeah, as you do that, people start kind of like getting together. Pinkston takes a bit because he was blinded by the arrows, so he's like rubbing his eyes for a bit. Actually, he seems to listen, but he's not going to immediately help out. Because he's rubbing his eyes. Also, he needs to bandage his hand because he is bleeding out and almost died.
Then I yell at one of them.
Two
Take
damage?
care of him. If he's a commoner, he has 4 health.
Oh, damn.
I yell at one of them to dress his wounds.
Okay.
Probably not Casper. I should probably say, like, Bemos.
Yeah, Bemos steps forward and starts helping. He's a more arcane wizard, so he can't do anything magical to help, but he starts addressing the wound.
Okay.
And you see as Grief kind of steps on stage and just is like, "Ha-ha! Wow! What an in-between show. Not to worry, all part of the plan. just a bit of an entertainment. Sorry for any confusion.
Drama. Do you love it or do you love it?
As we get to the door and I open it,
Okay.
and we walk outside, in front of like the guard
Mm-hmm.
that's out here, I'm going to take the bag of holding. I'm gonna hand it to him and be like, "Here's your pay. You're out of here for tonight." And I tell him to go home.
I'll like gruffly take it, throw out some more expletives, and walk away.
All right.
And then I like storm back inside. This time, wait. At this point, how long has the elf been gone?
He's been gone for like 30 seconds to a minute.
Oh, I guess it probably didn't take me too long to swap out those.
Yeah, it barely took you like any time at all, and all of this happened very quickly.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to storm inside, forgetting to close the front door.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go back inside and just like go up to them and be like, "I'm so sorry for Hoovel. I sent him home. I gave him his pay. We don't have to worry about him. He is not our problem tonight."
Yeah. And they kind of nod, and Pinkston says, "Don't let him come back here, Asher."
Yes, sir. Yeah, sorry about your hand. Thanks for helping, Bimos. I'm like inspecting his wound and stuff.
Yeah. Make a medical check.
5.
It looks pretty well addressed. It's wrapped.
Okay. I have no knowledge of medicine, I don't believe. Oh, I have a +2 to medicine.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's wrapped.
It's wrapped. I'm like, way to go. You're a savior, Bimos.
And at this point, you can tell some of the crowd is like, Hadir is just like, "Haha, what a great showing!" And he's like the one clapping,
Yay.
while the rest are kind of like, "Haha, I guess we'll pretend that wasn't just an outburst."
Yeah. Catherine's good fun. I like him a lot.
Assault Trace is so fucking good.
Oh yeah, +10 to stealth. And Catherine kind of stands up and says, "Yes, let's get this back on track," and points over to the elven woman that has been coming in and out and says, "Please start on the next course. I think that will be appropriate at this point."
Okay.
You can tell he's also trying to like smooth things over and just get things going, almost trying to ignore the fact that even happened.
Yeah. Good.
And then I just get on with covering both mine and Hoovel's responsibilities,
Mm-hmm.
which were just pretty much
Yeah.
extra hands.
And at this point, the elven woman asks if you can help with just tables as well as
Yep.
getting people, as both now Hoovel and the other elf are gone.
Yeah, I just start. So one thing that Blanche is good at is being anything that he needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I just start helping everything.
Okay.
Well-
I help filling cups. I help bringing dishes out.
While they're doing all the serving and getting everybody's stuff refreshed, moving on to next course, can I sit under this tree and begin playing a song for them? So it's like interlude music.
Sure, go for it. Are you doing anything specific, or just want to play a tune?
Probably something Jorg related, like a ballad.
Okay. Yeah, roll a performance.
+6, so
13.
13.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, good.
It's nothing like spectacular. People aren't, you know.
Raving.
It's background music. I'm
Yeah,
trying
it's
to do
background music. People aren't paying attention to you really. You haven't shifted the focus of anyone, but it's not bad.
Okay, good.
And then everyone's kind of just waiting around. Food is being served, but they are waiting for the elven male to get back with the water. So do you guys want to do anything during that time?
No.
Okay.
I'm pretty much just going to be doing my normal duties, being like in the room as much as possible. I want people to know I'm in here, and to feel like I've been here the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And during this break, it seems like some of the people, like Hadir and Alvis, and their like escorts, entourage, seem to be just kind of like wandering about the downstairs, not just sticking in their own seats, but they take this time to wander about. You can see that Hadir talks to Catherine, and then they both leave for the front like room.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're still like going in between the main dining room and the kitchen, you can see that they're walking amongst each other. They both asked their guard to stay back in the room, and they're just talking amongst themselves. But you can see Catherine is kind of like showing off some of his things.
Yeah. When I come back in with the next plate,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to quickly ask Asher, like as quietly, like, so when were those thugs gonna?
I just told them this evening.
Okay. And then I go back to my normal duties. I want to try to eavesdrop on them.
Yeah, make a
Perception.
perception.
Perception. That's a 11.
Okay. For the first bit, you while they're like kind of like closer to the hallway, you see Catherine talking to him about this torch, which is an ever-burning torch with blue flame. Kind of like holds his hand up to it, and he like, oh yeah, it's a flame.
Does it produce heat?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a unique one.
Yeah, not a whole lot. And it's strange because you were next to it before. It's hot, but as you get closer, it almost feels like a frostbite hot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because normal ever-burning torches don't produce heat.
Yeah, I know. It's like that when you start getting frostbite and your body starts tricking itself into thinking that you're hot.
Yeah.
It feels like that.
Okay. If I'm gonna just keep listening back and forth, if I hear him start talking about the sword,
Okay.
or the helmet, I'm going to, but until then.
Okay. Yeah. After a bit, they talk, and then he kind of turns around and says, "Let me show you the rest." And you assume he's going to talk about either one of those.
I make my way back over here,
Mm-hmm.
and I say, I do believe that things should almost be ready. We should be able to start again here shortly, if you guys would like to go back to your seat.
Ah, terrific. Yes. Hadir, I will show these off at a later time, but they are some of the finer things in my collection. And Hadir's just like, of course. I would love to see the rest of your collection before I'm able to show you anything of mine.
And then, as they start heading back, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna pick up like a random, like a vial or like glass bottle and just fill it with skin water,
Okay.
and bring it back in here and be like, in case he doesn't come back, we need to start soon. Use this as a replacement for the holy water.
Okay.
Can do. Mm-hmm.
Just in case, like, he doesn't come back. Like, the holy water isn't important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was just the distraction. And then we need to start going for the next one or next act.
You tell me that?
Yes.
Oh. Grief, I've received the water.
Ah, terrific. And kind of puts it over with the rest of the things and sets it down. Gets back up in front of the group and says, "Yes, and if everyone is ready, we will continue this play. On to Act 3. Again, flourishes and gets off stage. The rest of the crew has re-put on their outfits and are walking onto the stage with you, Asher. Kind of like the main party is like traveling. This act is them going through like the hardships of travel, you know, like Lord of the Rings style of like adventure, but not in the sense of like a certain
It's like a
mission.
montage, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. It's harder to show in a play, but it's a lot of just like the background's moving, they're talking and like not really showing it, but like, oh, this bridge here, it's cracked. How are we ever going to get past? And
It's
like,
just like a cardboard cutout of like the edge of a bridge, and then
Yeah.
just walking back in it.
exactly. So it's like, it's a little bit of a lull in the play, but it's still a play and it's good. Catherine seems super intrigued still. The rest of like the people at the table seem to be a little bit more bored of this moment in the
They're
play.
more so here because Catherine invited them rather than them wanting to see this.
Yeah, and like they enjoy the first two acts. This one's just a bit of a lull.
Storm. Calm before a storm.
But towards the end of this act, you can you hear like in the background the cackling of Casper coming from behind stage, dressed in like black robes with green like streamers kind of coming off the shoulders. And as she whips her hand forward, the streamers kind of like flare up and give the image of like little bits of fire. On her head is like a skull mask with large like beads across the top, forming like a beaded crown. And this is their best rendition of a lich.
Oh, okay.
I use my shadowy magic to give like black
Woo.
particles moving off of her as she moves, and
Dope.
Yeah.
And then, you know, at that moment, everything goes dark, and that's like the end of Act 3.
to help sell that, I actually cast dark,
Dope. So like the whole
Yeah.
stage goes dark.
but then I release it almost immediately. Like
Sweet.
as people get off the stage, I release it.
Yeah, and as you release it, you can see all the actors are kind of like looking around a bit, but then they quickly get off stage. They were not expecting it, but they're actors, so they know how to roll with it. Grief again gets up on stage and gives his spiel of like, yes, isn't that fantastical? Leaving off on a cliffhanger this time. And everyone's like, oh yeah. And Catherine's just like, yes! Yes!
Yay!
And they give like the brief intermission between each section. I'm assuming you guys don't want to do anything between this one.
I go to Asher and I'm like, Hoovel was sent home with a rabbit in tow.
Very good. Yeah. Well, yeah, we just keep rolling then. Right?
I just nod.
Sweets? I
So
don't
then-
know if Thieves can't, so I'm a little awkward with it. I'm like, yeah! Okay! But I know what you're saying, because before, in a previous session, you're like, hey, if I just start talking nonsense, you should probably assume something's up. Yeah.
Okay,
But,
cool.
nothing we want to do beforehand. I'm starting to think those thugs just took my money. Yeah.
Moving into Act 4, Grief gets back up on stage and quickly introduces the cast again and says, "And prepare for the final battle." As he gets off and everyone gets back into like the same pose as when they left off. It goes through like quote-unquote epic battle between a lich and three like 20th level adventurers who have gone through all these hardships, and one of them goes down and they get back up, and the give and take of like a final battle, which ends with Jorg being launched forward with his sword piercing through the lich and dispersing it, and then Casper falls down all dramatically like, "Oh, how could I have been defeated?" And then after that, kind of like does the crumble into a pile of just like cloth to show that they died, and they end that act. They end the act with Jorg kind of like praying to his god, saying like the evil has been defeated, and his god pretty much just being like, "Yeah, that's what I expected."
Well, of course.
Yeah, like that's why you exist, is to do my bidding.
Real, like, big Hera energy. Yeah.
And then like everything goes dark and everyone's like, "Oh my goodness." Grief then gets back up on stage and is just like, "Yes, and for our final act, we will continue with the epilogue of this mighty tale." Would you guys like to do anything in between this section?
Negative.
Negative.
Alright. Then, to finish out the play, the group gets back up on stage. This time, as Grief gets off stage, you can see he starts like getting suited up. And you can see Casper during all of this has also been changing her outfit as well. And you can see like for the final act, Grief has kind of like all of these like quote unquote gold chain things, like a white robe with a gold lining, and kind of just presents himself as like a celestial being. You see that he has his blonde hair kind of like spiked up to cover his horns, as that's not very celestial, and kind of is trying to portray himself as Amontour, and then goes through like Jorg learning of how Amontour just uses people, and how they're not really useful in this age, because there's no reason to have people lording over people that can rule themselves. And continues on to like not break his vow, but fight the gods, You see as Amantur and recruits one of the other gods to fight these adventurers, which is something that is unheard of, as gods are just better than people. Amantur recognizes that Jorg has become powerful enough to challenge them, and recruits Saloon, the goddess of the moon, to fight alongside him. During like this final act of the play, you see as Casper comes out in like these darkened, like bluish, like midnight blue robing, with like a staff that has like a crescent moon on it. And you see as she goes like through this whole theatrical thing of like we need more power to take on these adventurers, and where one moon is like on the set, you see as like one moon is kind of like peeled off, or one side of the background is peeled off to reveal a second moon, as her summoning the second moon to the material plane.
Whoa! I love lore episodes. Okay.
The first moon being like kind of like a white yellow coloring, like the Earth's moon. The second moon is that of like a greenish color, and Asher, you know that the second moon was called for from the Feywild to the material plane.
Wow.
And that's kind of like the backstory on why there's two moons.
So there's no moon in the Feywilds, right?
Correct.
Just two moons here.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But yeah, and then so they call for like two moons, and they go through like this epic fight, and it ends with Jorg, or Pinkston playing Jorg, kind of like stepping on the back of Grief playing Amantur with like the golden hilt sword with platinum blade striking through his back, and Saloon played by Casper, like laid out on like the back, being like killed by the other two, and ends with like them saying like almost threateningly, like Jorg saying, "Now it is our turn to rule."
Woo!
And then everything goes dark again.
Scene.
Yeah, and then after that, they all, do like the whole line up in front, and take their bow, along with you. Catherine stands up, and you can see like small tears going down the sides of his cheeks as he's clapping, and you can see everyone else is clapping along with him. A couple people stand up and clap, giving you guys a fair standing ovation.
Yay! Okay, that's super nice.
Yeah. The rest of the night seems to kind of just progress. The actors start tearing down some of the things as people have finished up their food. During the last act, the elven woman has been bringing in desserts. At some point, the elven man came back with the vial filled with holy water.
When
But
he came back, I take it from him and thank him.
okay. If you want to write down holy water, you have a vial of holy water.
Sweet.
Actual holy water. Hell yeah.
And actually, since I did say it, you can write down ×3 because it is technically 3 times as big.
Wait.
I will be right back. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
While everybody's breaking down, and like I'm assuming that these people are all like talking and
Yeah, they're talking amongst themselves. Catherine is again like saying like, "Oh, wasn't that so great?"
I'm gonna go to Catherine
Mhm.
and I'm going to apologize. I'm so sorry for the disturbance that our friend has caused. I do have to head out and go speak to him about this. I hope you enjoyed the play. Asher is here if you have any other questions. And if you need to contact us, you know where where you know how you can reach us.
Of course, of course. And like takes your hand and clasps it, and like quickly, not like longingly. Clasps your hand, and says, "And good luck with that one. This seemed to
He can
be a
he
bit
can
of a
be
hothead."
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I am so sorry about that.
Hi.
I'm going to go speak to him about that disturbance now. And with that, I leave.
All right.
I also went up to Catherine's.
As he as Blanche leaves and Catherine looks over to you, he kind of like opens up his arms and picks you up in like a big old bear hug, and thanks you for putting on this play and like setting this all up.
Yeah, I'm so glad you liked it. I say, giving him those real firm back pats, you know, like the
Mhm.
the ones you do on your dad because you know he's a big thick guy. I'm like, I knew this was gonna be the play for you. And the venue was beautiful. Couldn't have done it without ya. Yeah. After I do get set down eventually, I scurry back and help pick up everything on the play so we can call it a night.
Okay.
As I leave, I stop and talk to Clatter.
Okay.
And I tell him,
You do notice that he has sold a couple things. He's like, yeah, a couple people came around, just wanted it.
yeah, that's fine. This was just to make you a little bit more coin back and to help us out.
He got like job offers out of this and everything.
I have one. I have one request. I'm gonna ask him.
Okay.
Were you thinking about accepting that job offer?
I will go check it out. I like my freedom.
I understand that. I will ask that you do take one job.
Take one job. Sorry, you cut out a bit.
One job from him. So when you go talk to him, if he offers you to do something, I do ask as a favor for us that you accept at least that one.
He kind of looks at you coyly and says, "Do you have something planned?"
If anyone asked, he had to make a replica of this sword.
Ah,
But
I
a better
can
one.
do that.
Better.
And
Okay,
I thank him and I tell him that we will be in touch and to enjoy the rest of your night.
Of course. You as well.
And then I head back.
Yeah. And at this point, you realize that the dwarf has like a
He also
platinum
has-
helmet on.
Nice.
He's like, fuck yeah. But at this point, I'm actually gonna go to the den.
Okay. Dope. Asher, is there anything else you would like to do inside the manor?
Nope. I'd like to pack everything up, give Catherine a real good firm handshake, and call it a night.
I wonder if those thugs just went and raided somebody else's house.
I know. They were like, well, we can try and find it. And I'm wondering if they didn't know where to go, or if they're like, what a chump. They gave us 5 gold each to do nothing and then like took it and ran. Either way, that would have been smart on their part. I just didn't expect it.
And
Yeah.
you might not ever figure it out, or you could.
like the neighbors are like burned down to the ground.
Yeah, you walk out and like the rest of the Atlantic district is just on fire.
You're like, couldn't find house, burned all down. These goofballs will do anything for 5 gold. Yeah, no, I don't have anything else planned though.
Dope. All right. Hoovel, were you wanting to do anything after you left the house? I don't know if Levi's back yet or not.
Oh, hold on. I don't go to the den. I go back to our house.
Okay. Were you thinking that this was a den thing? Or-
Yes, the rabbit and
no,
the
I don't
toad.
have the helmet.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna go finish off our debt,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have the helmet. I gave it to Hoovel.
Yeah. I don't think he's back yet. All right, so you head back to the house.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Asher, it takes some time to pick up everything. You guys get all your stuff, and all of you pick up your weapons on the way out. And I'll just say, Blanche, as you head out, you pick up Hoovel's bow since he was kind of kicked out. And yeah, you guys pack up your things and head back. Grief gives you like a hearty like handshake that goes into a hug, Asher.
Yay!
And
Everybody had a good time.
it's just like, yes,
That was stressful.
a lot. That was a
Yeah.
lot. Thank you. No, like, ooh. Sorry.
like-
I'm very grateful. Just a bit tired.
Yeah.
This was great. I'm gonna go home. Thank you.
Yeah. Good night. Hat off, Greet or Grief. He's just low energy guy now.
Yeah, that was a long time for him to keep up the high energy.
Yeah. There's no house he could like hide away in. Yeah. Okay, but I'm like, good night, goodbye, and then I'm off back to the house as well.
Okay.
How much does it cost to get back home?
Do you go through the den or do you go through the normal gates?
Oh, I go through the normal gates.
Okay. It will be 3 copper. And since Hoovel's not here, I don't know if he would do this or not, but I will just say that he goes through the den.
Okay. And then when we get back to the house, I'm just gonna pick up the bag of holding from him and head to the den.
Okay. All right. So Asher and Hoovel are back at the house, and then you go to the den.
Yeah.
All right. Asher, do you want to go with him, or are you just heading to the house?
Well, I would have
You
gotten there
would've left
first.
before.
Oh yeah, you would have gotten there first, so never
I
mind.
had to do the whole breakdown and everything.
Yeah, you would have gotten them well before her, so.
Yeah. Then with my bag of holding, I head to old sleepless. I mean, one-armed Gerald.
Ah,
He's like,
Blanche!
I'm an elf. I don't sleep. Looking at his rat tail, like, okay.
I am what you would call an automaton.
Ah!
He does like the whole like the robotic hand wave,
Yeah. But with his tail.
but
Yeah.
with his tail. Or what would be a hand wave, but it just lifts up
Yeah.
the tail.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And I reach out and I'm gonna reach in like with a cloth, wrap up the helmet, put it on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
I
reaches out with wraps it up with his tail and pulls it back. Looks under the cloth. Eyebrows raise a bit, and puts it back down. Is this the item that we previously discussed?
It is.
Well, good. I believe our debt is settled. Just to remind me, he did loan you the money first, right? And
He did loan me the money, but we
It
did
still
talk.
can pay
Yeah,
afterwards.
there was still some talk of me getting paid more than the debt.
all right.
Quick refresher for me. Whose mission was the sword?
It's from the den.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you guys were given a mission from the den to talk to a contact at the Great Library, which ended up being that Cobalt lady that came with Hadir.
All right.
Can I confirm one thing?
Yeah.
They didn't want the sword. They just didn't want him to have it, correct?
They wanted you to steal it for them.
For them. Okay.
Yeah, they wanted the sword.
Okay. That's what I thought that, but I was like, I can't remember if they just didn't want him to have it or if they wanted it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes. What were you thinking of giving this up for?
Well, can't really put a price on that. That's where it comes into a little bit of difficulty.
Of course, this was.
It cost me about the 600 just to be able to procure this. So if we subtract that from the total price, what would you be willing to hand over? And be upfront with this. This was a lot of trouble.
Of course.
It was like a week's worth of trouble.
And I tell him, as of right now, nobody even knows that this is. They still believe that they have it in their possession.
Good. A non-hot item. And one as this. He goes, he looks up at you and, do you mind? And starts casting Identify.
I allow him.
Of course, last session was the one I didn't take notes when we did this whole exchange. Yeah. Oh, wait, it was sooner.
Kind of looks at you. Yes. Minus the 600 gold that we had previously given you already. I'd say we would be willing to take this off your hands for 1,200 gold pieces.
I think I can go for that.
Woo!
Terrific. Goes in the back.
I also, like, when he comes back, I'm also going to talk to him about the Nightmare Squad.
Yes. Unfortunate news about them. I'm sure you've heard. Like, kind of gives, like, the sympathetic eyebrow raise. It turns out that they were caught in the act of stealing and pillaging from a good worker who just opened up his own shop in the shopping district.
It's a shame that people would fall so low.
Of course, and it's a shame that we were never associated with a group of that description at all. They probably would have been good for us, but it's good that we didn't have any association with them, as it turns out.
They did sloppy work.
Of course. And no one in our groups have ever done anything sloppy, and never will. He's saying this as he's counting out like platinum and putting it into a bag for you. Slides over the bag of platinum to you, and it's 120 pieces of platinum.
Woo!
Wow, gotta add a new letter to our treasury.
And takes the helmet, keeps it wrapped, but puts it back into the like safe area.
And well, I do hope that you have a great night, and we will be finishing up our current assignment probably tomorrow.
Terrific. I cannot wait to hear of your success.
And with a nod, I head back home.
All right. And I believe we will end the session there. You guys all make it home. You guys get a good night's rest. And we will pick this up next week.
All right.
All in a day's work.
Yay.
Oh, there's Levi.
We will
Yeah.
see you bitches next time.
See
Bye.
you, bitches.
Bye.